Well, welcome to the Everland Outdoors podcast. We are super excited to launch this podcast because we feel in our hearts that it's an opportunity to share with the world what the Lord is doing with Everland Outdoors and with all the fun stuff of being outdoors. And so Everland Outdoors got its name from being everything outdoors and ultimately wanting to glorify the everlasting King, King Jesus. And so we're here today. I got Lee with me. We're hanging out. We're just going to have some fun and talking about our relationship and coming together and hanging out and what we're doing and moving forward. So
this is our first podcast, and so we're kind of going at this like off script. We're just going after it. So eventually, obviously, we'll have some guests coming in. I'm really excited to bring you. We have a pretty good list of guys that we want to bring in, talk to you about deer hunting, talk about land, and whatever comes up. That's what I'm excited about. This is like, yes, our focus is everything land, but who knows where we'll go with it.
Yeah, and our passions truly align. And like Lee and I, when we first met, the whole, like, I told him with a tear in my eye, like a big girl, like I was like, hands down, I was like, the Lord has brought us together, because Lee and my relationship 100% was an answer to prayer. It wasn't like we met at a hunting show. We didn't meet, we didn't go try to come together. It was like, oh Lord, I need the right people in my life. And the very next day, we'll give a shout out to your cuz.
Ross.
Ross was an electrician working on a project, and I just started telling him about a little bit of a story, and Ross was like, you got to meet my cousin. And we had lunch, and here we are. So Everland Outdoors, and I mean, it's been a wild coming for putting the studio together and doing all this stuff. So we're just jacked to really focus on what we care most about, is like, managing your deer hunting land, how to do it, how to go hunt. And it's hunting season right now.
It's hunting season, which is wild to say. Yeah. It's what is it, October 10th right now? 11th. 10th or 11th? Yeah, sure.
Something like that.
Sure, like that. So
Close.
Yeah, it's like we're in the beginning phases of like, it actually seems like hunting season has been going on for a while already, actually.
Dude, well, I already killed a buck, so I have to. I
forgot about that.
Yeah, you killed a big giant bull. So like whitetail, deer, elk seeds, like it feels like we're miles into this for me.
And it's only the 11th.
Yeah, I killed a buck in Kentucky on the 6th of September. And I was out there for like 2 hours.
You actually killed a whitetail before I killed an elk.
Yes.
Which is
wild.
Just weird. Yeah, that's what's so nice about Kentucky, which I'm sure we'll get into other podcasts of Kentucky itself.
Much
so. Yeah. But we have like, it seems like hunting season has been going on for so long, but we have so long to go, which my wife doesn't appreciate. But it's like it's about to start getting good, and I'm excited to keep bringing this podcast in. We're obviously going to be doing this weekly, and just kind of following our season, and from there, like I have my target deer I'm going after. You have your target.
I have two. They haven't gotten me. I mean, I will say this. I told you this before I went hunting. I said, as soon as I see one of them, he's going to become the number one target, right? And so I did see that shooter. I did see that wide, huge 8, that older 8. And I was like, all right, now I've kind of like switched gears from Diablo to the wide 8, because Diablo's cool, but I think he's a little younger than I really want to kill. And so I think the other one's more of a mature buck that I'm after. And so, I'm all in on that deer. I'm excited to go chase him around. I saw him once, and to lay eyes on your shooter like this early in the season, dude. Praise God, like that is so cool. Like I had one buck that I chased for 7 years on a 36 acre piece, dude. Small little piece. 7 years. Well, he was 7 years old, so I chased him for 3, and I only laid eyes on him twice in that period of time. And
you're basically saying my story this year. Like I'm hunting an older deer that, like, I mean, I've seen him on the hoof twice last year. But other than that, pictures just in the darkness. Yeah. Like it's, are we getting into this right now? Like, I don't want to go into it too deep because we have such a long season. I really think I'm going to kill him. I truly do, but he's the mind game that he plays with me, I think, was why I appreciate him so much too. But like, it's just one of those deer you don't expect to see him. Like, you'll go hunting, like, and you're hunting him, and half of you thinks that like conditions are right, he's gonna move, I'm gonna see him. But the other half of you is like, I'm not going to see him unless like conditions are perfect. And it's like this crazy scenario that he decides to walk. Like, I don't think deer are completely nocturnal all the time, but I think a lot of bigger mature deer will stand up in the daylight, but they're not walking further than 100 yards. So
no, I mean like that true term of crepuscular, that they move the majority of the time in the morning and in the evening and all that. And so for me, it's like I feel like we always build up this idea that it's like a magical time that they move, and it's actually more consistent than we give it credit for. It's magical, or it's inconsistent to us, but to a deer, they move in those moments for specific reasons. And so like they get up for specific reasons in certain time frames, in certain weather conditions. It's like getting ready to go to a concert. You have a concert to go to, and so you go in through your routine to get ready for that concert or whatever. I just went to a concert. That's why that analogy came into my mind. But like, I don't normally at 4 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon take a shower because I'm not normally going to a concert. I say that because I look at it like when the weather conditions are right, that's when a deer is going to move. And so we just need to back and go, okay, what are the right weather conditions? What is the right day? When is the right time to go in there and try to kill that deer? So Lee and I were talking about his shooter buck and in the strategy. And there's going to be tons of time during this podcast throughout the season that we're going to dive into strategy and different reasons and why we've done certain things to our land. And we'll even we're going to bring in the maps. We're going to bring in all the stuff so you can see all the stuff that we've laid out, all the things that we've designed and the purpose. And I'm excited because this year I have a new 40-acre piece that we're going to dive into a whole bunch. We'll show you. We didn't have a ton of preseason time with it because
zero.
Because we closed.
When did you close on that piece?
It's a good thing. We should probably know that. I think it was like August 15th.
Yeah.
Something in, maybe right in that time frame. So we got after it. I mean, our food plot is not perfect because we just didn't really have the time.
Even like we had time, but like also you're like, you didn't have time to process your property. Like you before you bought it, you sprinted through it and was like, let's try this type of thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This was definitely a wing and a prayer. It was like, all right, Lord, if we're going to do it, let's just do it. And we jumped on this one and, finding land. Again, we'll do another show all on just finding land and how I go through hunting down land. Cause that's almost 100% of it these days is finding the land and how do you go about that and looking at those. But then, so yes, like Lee said, we had a couple days to run through it. I actually closed within 6 days of making an offer on it. And so it was like I was rushing them. And,
which is nice though too.
Yeah, it was nice. And he was super cool. Awesome guy. Daryl's super cool. And it was a successful piece. So like I knew going into it, he had found a whole bunch of success on it in years past. And so it gave me great confidence in buying it that there was good deer on there. And that was one of my concerns. And you and I talked about it, Lee, is like, I don't want to go in here and mess this thing up. Mm-hmm. I want to learn it a little bit. I did get a little crazy with the skid steer and just start making trails and stuff like that.
It was enjoyable to watch, actually. Yeah.
Dude, when I got stung by those bees, though, I got stung by the bees inside the skid steer. I was like, I joked with my dad the other day because I called it the Benadryl blind because I had eaten a bunch of Benadryl after I got stung by bees. And so that blind is a little questionable at best.
You took a nap in it after you said it. The Benadryl kicked in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I kept mowing and then I went and set the blind and I was like, I don't know, I think I was like 2 Benadryl in because I was a little concerned about like I was super itchy, but whatever. So we're going to we'll show that property, we'll show Lee's property, what we've done, what we're going to do. And that's the game that we're always playing it's always a chess match because we're looking at what's moves and counter moves of the deer. What are they going to do? Why are they doing what they're doing? Do we have enough browse in their bedrooms? Do we have enough greens? All of the things to really make a property good from September 1. That's my big thing is September 1 to January 1. I got to have food, browse, everything a deer needs, water, all the stuff that a deer needs to hold them on the property. And you'll hear that over and over again is September 1 to January 1. Obviously, Kentucky changes a little bit for me, rolling those dice, having some land down there because that extends the season a little bit.
Pre-elk season. Like, it's still wild to me that you killed a whitetail before I killed an elk.
Well, yeah, it was my first velvet buck, so we'll have to, talk a little bit about that and strategies down there. But again, that's for another day.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And I guess kind of going back to what this podcast is about, I think it's going to be fairly unique. This is going to be a very good podcast to not only listen to, well, hopefully it's going to be a good podcast to listen to, but also watch. We're going to be very interactive with this podcast as far as when Jay's talking about his land, we're going to be able to pull up a map from our drone of the property and show the differences in detail, show what we actually did or talking about, and then if we change it, we get to show that. I think it's going to be a very, hopefully an educational piece from whether that's what to do or what worked, and also in the standpoint of like this didn't work at all. Like we're living and learning as we go. Like that's what makes whitetail hunting so great. There's no one just straight reason, or there's no one straight correct way to do something. It's trial and error, and I think it's exciting going into this because again, it's most podcasts are very voice centric and listening centric, where we're going to be very kind of engaged with the viewer and showing everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, the visual aspect of being able to look and see and examine and say, we did this here and this is why, and be able to showcase it on the maps and, all of the, like Lee said, the drone photography and imagery just makes it crystal clear because you can see changes from one attempt to the next attempt. And, the humility of saying we don't have all the answers. We've done a ton of research over the years, spent a ton of time with all sorts of different habitat consultants. I personally have hired a mess of them trying to figure this out. And that's where I've come to saying like, I've taken a whole bunch of different approaches to this because, like Lee said, there isn't one golden ticket. As soon as you figure out one thing, another deer is going to play a different game, and you got to figure that out differently. And so, and not all properties are alike. They're all unique. They all have different things. And one farm, I mean, I've seen it from one client, having 800 acres and literally another, and having just tons and tons of deer on that property. And then you go right down the road a quarter mile, actually more like a half a mile, and a guy's got an 80 down the road and he's struggling to see deer. So what's the difference? Like, what's going on? We're talking very consistent, same ag to cover ratios, same breakdown of timber quality, same tree species, all that kind of stuff. So what's really happening here? So like unpacking all that and learning that is a big part of it. And that's where like the drone photography comes in such a beautiful element, because it gives you information that you just don't have.
And it's beautiful.
And it is really
beautiful. It's beautiful. That's a good description. I like it. It truly is beautiful. Like you can obviously see over my wall or my shoulder, we have an example of something that we've done in the past. And again, talking about bringing clients, like I'm excited. One of the goals of this podcast is after we, map someone's property is to actually bring them on the podcast, talk to them what they've done in the past, what has worked for them. Again, we're not here to tell people what works and what doesn't work. We're here to learn with everybody else. So like talking to clients, everyone has a different attempt to it. And so little nuggets that we can pull away from, just the average everyday hunter and landowner. Like I'm excited for that, because honestly, like who knows what people do out there.
Oh yeah, you see all sorts of crazy stuff. And like we've talked about it before, Lee, it's like where we've had people, it's like, what do you believe? And that's where it's like really, really cool to me is that we have a body of hunters that are all over in their hunting journey. And I look at it just like their spiritual walk, whether you believe in God or not. I know you do. And so it's like, as we progress down this journey, we can mature and grow. And same thing with deer hunting. We mature and we grow, and we learn from the body of deer hunters, just like we learn from the body of Christ, and we grow spiritually. And so it's like the parallels that the Lord has put in all of our lives, in deer hunting and in everything, and just walking and growing. And are we humble enough? And it's like they humbled themselves and prayed. And it's like, can we be humble enough to learn from everybody? And that's why you and I are excited about bringing in our clients and talking with them and saying, hey, what have you been doing over the years? What's worked? What hasn't worked? And I always say it's a big reflection of what people believe is based on their actions. And so it's like, if they're putting this to work and they're going out there and they're trying like crazy and it doesn't work and they actually make changes, well, that's the same thing we should be doing in life. Hey, we've been running this race this way. We realize it doesn't work without God. So I'm going to submit to him and say, all right, I'm going to keep going. And now I'm going to make a change, and that's the same thing with our hunting land. It's like, okay, this didn't work. Let's make a change. So it's going to be super fun. We're going to have a ball with that. And I really believe that we will have the best deliverables for somebody to be able to see their property and the changes and what's going on. And then this podcast will just be super fun to talk with all walks of life.
All walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue into, do we bring up our second podcast, or a spin-off of our main podcast? So this is our main podcast, but we also are going to have what we're calling, is it official?
It's official.
It's official.
To the Stand.
So To the Stand.
Yeah.
To the Stand will be a 15 to 20, potentially. Wow, Jay will get excited.
You're selling more 20 minutes? Oh my.
I just I
you want it long?
I know.
Okay.
think I just know you enough. There's going to be definitely a 20-minute in there.
Oh yeah.
So Jay is going to use his talents and his knowledge of his faith, and what we're going to do is help tie hunting into our faith, and under, how do you want to say this, a time relevance. It's kind of, I guess if you want to go into more, would you describe it?
Yeah, it's the Lord kind of took me through a journey of really a place in my life where I was compartmentalizing. I had hunting friends, I had golf buddies, I had work friends, and I had just social friends or whatever. And I was a different person in each one of those circles. I would swear more with the golf buddies. I'd be sillier with the hunting buddies. And the Lord really kind of took me through this place where it's like, no, all of these moments are opportunities to shine. And I've placed all of these people and all of these different things in your life to represent me well. And so to be an ambassador for Christ. And so I just want to encourage guys through this next what we're calling To the Stand, is because we want to take a stand for Christ and we stand on God's word. And so if the Lord's given me a voice to be able to speak his word and speak boldly about who he is and what's going on, then praise be to him. And so To the Stand will just be like a 15.
Oh, you just said 15.
At least a 20-minute devotional, just to kind of reflect on where we are in the deer season, what's going on in the woods, and if the Lord's tugging on your heart in any certain area that we need to examine. And not trying to dive into it right now, but where we're at in the season right now, it's already like, all right, we got to start slugging it out. We're gonna get into the time where we got to really check ourselves before we ready to wreck ourselves, because we spend far too much time away from our families, or far too much time like checking trail cameras and all that kind of stuff. Like, I know every year I have to like kind of surrender that and let go. And so, because it becomes a Lord in my life, and so like I have to put those in the right places. So
I already got checked on that. My wife checked me this weekend.
Well, see, that's the thing is it self, or are we using the body? And it's okay to use the body, but at the same time, when I can get to a place where I like it when I'm doing it prior to somebody else, like I know I'm in a healthier place where I'm like, okay, it's time to step back before somebody bonks me up the head. I get hit upside the head all the time with a 2x4, so I'm not above that by any stretch of the imagination. But a lot of times it's like, all right, this is where I'm actually walking with the Lord and in my time in prayer and going, all right, do I really need to go hunting this evening, or is it just okay? Let's maybe calm that down. I'll just say this: it convicted me like crazy. I'm not a technologically advanced human, you know that, and I could turn on a computer, but my phone, it popped up and it showed me the other day that the first thing I was checking was always my trail cameras, and I was like, ooh. Okay, that's information that I didn't want to hear, but now that I have it, what am I going to do about it? And it's like, if the Everland circles and the Everland logo stands for Christ in the center, we've chosen to be married, and so our spouse is second, and then our kids, and then our work and our hunting and all of our community. That's what those rings represent and stuff like that. If I really believe that Christ is at the center of my life, and I open every day, and the first thing that I do when I open my phone is to look at trail camera photos, yeah, I could lie to you and say that I prayed first and then I opened my phone. It's not true. Like, I wake up and it's like
I'm pretty sure 90% of people that have cell cameras out there, that is the first thing. I mean, I had to shut mine off, my notifications off, because I would wake up in the middle of the night and
mine are
check
off.
them.
Mine have been off, Kentucky trail cameras they only send once a day and stuff like that. Now that we're in the throes of it here.
But you're going to Kentucky soon, so you're probably going to turn that back on.
I don't even know. We have youth season in Kentucky. It's actually open right now, and we're headed down there with the family. What day is it today? Monday? We're headed down there on Thursday. Thursday looks like Thursday evening is the best cold front. I shouldn't even call it a cold front. That was a fib. It drops.
It's 5 degrees in Kentucky is a cold front.
It drops 8 degrees. And so the high on Wednesday to the high on Thursday is an 8-degree drop.
So it could be just enough to pique some interest in moving.
Just enough.
Yeah.
There's a pile of shooters down there. And so I'm hoping my son gets on one. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, so that's to the stand.
Yeah, that's
and again, I think we're tentatively planning on launching those on Fridays.
Yeah.
By the time this podcast goes out, we could have changed our minds, so apologize in advance. But right now, we're going to say Fridays. That way, everybody on your way to the stand, and that's why we call it To the Stand. Yeah. Driving to the stand Saturday morning, you can have something to listen to. It's quick and easy. Again, hopefully Jay can keep it under 20 minutes. So that way your drive time on the way to the stand, you can just have something to reflect on in the stand. That's what I love about it, is like, open your mind. Don't think about like, where should I sit? What stand should I be hunting in? Again, that's second in our life of what's important. So like, having that to sit in the stand and just reflect on a little bit, as the sun's coming up, and just taking it all in, I think it's going to be, I'm really excited about it. Let's put it that way. I think it's going to be something great that, honestly, if 2 people listen to it, then whatever.
That is our heart. Like, my heart about the whole situation is one more. Like, Lord, give me one more. It doesn't matter, because it's not about me. It's not about this life. And so it's like, one more. If one person listens to it and enjoys it and shares it with somebody else, amen. If, we see viewership on that, kind of trail off and it's smaller, as long as people are impacted by it and it's moving someone's heart, and just one more, that's all that really matters. And so, yeah, like Lee said, that'll be To the Stand. That's going to be super fun. I'm excited about it.
Great name too. Yeah. It is a great name.
We went back. I do really like it, because it is about standing on God's word. So that's
though he fought it.
What's that?
You fought it.
I did fight it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was unsure.
That's fine. It's fine. So October 11th. Should we get into? I guess where are you at in the season right now? Again, we're unsure of when this is going to launch, so this is going to be a little past. Mm-hmm. A lot of things are going to be a change by the time you guys listen to this. But October 11th, where are you sitting at this season?
I'm at a good spot, like, mentally. Like, I'm not yanking full hearted. Like, I mean, I'm just I'd like to get out there. I'm looking at this week's weather. Obviously, I'm always looking at the weather, trying to make a plan of when's my next sit and when's the best use of my time and that the Lord's given me. So like this week, I'm looking at Wednesday. I don't know. Wednesday evening looks like it's going to be something. I'm hoping to take out a dear buddy of mine if we can get him in the set. I'm excited to get back out there. I don't know why, but I feel like this time of year for me, that 15th, 16th, 17th, all the way in there,
can be magical.
It can be magical for those. I like that evening right in there. And then obviously it's going to transition real quick to be like my first morning sit. I've yet to be out in the morning, and I do love getting out in the morning, but I personally don't do that until that 23rd time frame when we have that right morning to go sit on the downwind side of a bedding area and all that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited just to get in a couple more evening sits. I love sitting over an evening food plot where deer are just pouring in and bucks start to just kind of pop in and check those things out. So I would say like already learned a ton on that 40 where it's like I got to make some.
How many times have you sat on your 40? 2 or 3?
3. But there's just some quick edits of like, okay, this needs to be screened better here. We need to be able to exit better here,
Yeah. And we'll show that property, but to give you guys a quick like mindset of this property, picture 40 acres of cattails. 3
cattails,
trees,
willow swamp, it's just willows.
There might be
one thing.
4 trees that you could hang a tree stand in.
I'll go with 8.
Okay, sure.
8.
Yeah.
You're going to need some of those twisted tree things to get into some of those willows and stuff like that.
Just again, it's not your average piece where it's like timber and thickets and field edges and stuff like that. I'm glad that you got it because it's fun for me to like learn that through you.
Yeah.
How to approach something like that. Again, there's no set travel. They could literally go any direction that they want. Somehow these you figured out some sort of travel because you're getting consistent daylight deer on camera, and
I think it's a little bit of it is just a little bit of luck in the fact that it's just a giant bedding area, and and that's where like dancing around and playing it safe and like making sure you're not putting your wind in the wrong direction, because if you do that there, I think because of it is tall grass and all that kind of stuff way over your head and on a lot of areas, it helps with mistakes with wind and bad directions, and you can slip through it pretty silently and all that because we're able to cut some sneak trails through all that kind of stuff. It definitely helps, but at the same time, I think a few mistakes in there will be devastating pretty quickly.
Yeah. To that point, like I really do think like just how dense and how much cover is on that property. Not that you would ever purposely do this, but I do think you can get away with more mistakes because like you bump a deer up and they have to take 4 steps and you cannot see them anymore.
Right.
So like the security that they feel there and the protection, and it's not your average piece where you see them in a timber, you bump them, they got to run 400 yards to the next thicket. So
yeah, absolutely. It's a good point. And it's, and that's why you learn, as I learn from something like this, it's like, this is what you need to take to every property. And so it's like, how do you create those environments where we have dense cover throughout the majority of the property, but at the same time, it's in the right places on your property? Because I would prefer that there's some areas that I could walk through the property and get to places where there wouldn't be deer necessarily bedded right on the edge of these trails and all that kind of stuff, because it would be nice to have some open timber sections to pass through to know that they're non-deer areas.
They could literally be anywhere.
Right, because it's like the way that I look at it on a piece of property is like it's just as important to have non-deer areas as it is to have deer areas so I can actually hunt and get on and off the property. So I kind of set, because of the wetness of the ground and stuff like that, there's a couple areas where it's like these food plots are not ideal. We're going to have to do something.
No. And this is the first time I feel like I've actually truly experienced something like this, is when we were standing on this area that we cleared out. You could jump, and it's like you're on this. How do you describe it? It's you're
bar.
floating.
It's a floating mat.
You're floating on. You're not actually. There's nothing underneath you. You're just on this floating. It's like standing on a dock out in the water.
Yeah, I need to be running the cams in the blind. Most all of the sets on this property are blinds. There's a couple old.
There's only 8 trees.
Yeah, but because there's only 8 trees.
Yeah.
So it's all elevated box blinds and banks. Like the banks blinds are sweet, and I do need to go literally put 2x6s across the bottoms of those legs so they don't punch a hole through that mat. Because I was literally joking about the fact that I think if I should be running the GoPro the entire time in the blind, because I was sitting there and a fawn doe came like right up to the base of the thing and was just browsing right at the base of the blind and was browsing. And I think she smelled where I went into the blind, and she just jumped back, and I felt it in the blind. And I was like, oh my goodness, dude. If one of those feet punches through that mat, dude, that thing is just going down, and I'm just going to end up in a pile.
You have no anchors on it right now, do you?
They're anchored down.
Oh, they are.
But the feet, the 4x4 feet, what I'm saying is I need to put 2x6s across the base of it so it can't sink if it did punch a hole, because those legs are just going to punch a hole through that mat and it's going down. And I'm going to end up in a pile just wadded up.
Yeah, so just dead roll the GoPro the whole time.
That's what I think I need to do, because when that happens, we'll be like, well,
I want to see that.
Yeah, we need to watch that with my arrow sticking in my leg or something.
Yeah.
So
good story.
Good story. So, but we'll just keep playing with that and seeing what happens there. It's going to be fun, I think. So to answer your question, I'm focusing on the evenings still. I'm going to focus on the evenings for another 10, 15 days, and then we'll see what happens. I got a good deer on the other 40 here where we're at the studio here. There's a 4.5-year-old.
That's one that you sent me the other morning.
Yeah.
The morning cruiser.
Yeah. I definitely like to lay eyes on him. So he will probably be my first morning hunt. Is if he pops back in here, and because he's not that consistent, but if he pops back in here around that 23rd, 24th time frame, I'll try to go slip in and get it done with him.
Yeah, and I also think we should also bring to light that we are in Michigan, so yes. We're not in Iowa. Let's put it that way. So don't get me wrong. I think on your piece, there's not very respectable deer, especially for Michigan. Yeah. On the previous owner killed a 160 some off of it, correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely potential there. But again, we're just not in Iowa. So when we say big deer, I think we truly are just referring to the age. It's a big deer is I'm hunting the 5-year-old that I'm hunting, which for one, I would never think that I was hunting a 5-year-old on the piece of property that I hunt on. But 5-year-old, if I had to put a score to him, I would say he's like 136 or 7 as an 8-point.
He's a beautiful 8.
Yeah, just massive.
Yeah.
It's just a
That's a great deer, and I don't care who you are, what state you're in. I
would contemplate him in Iowa. If I was hunting, the fact that I know he's 5 gets me more excited than anything. Don't get me wrong. I will openly admit that I chase inches and age. So if a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old are standing next to each other, and the 4-year-old is 170 inches and the 5-year-old is 160 inches, I'm going to shoot the 4-year-old. So,
sure.
yeah. So openly admit that right now.
There's no denying that. It's like, what are we after? What's it's our best buck.
You can't eat the horns, but you can hang them on the wall.
Right. And they're fun and they're enjoyable. And it's not like, for me, it used to be a pride thing. Like it used to be like, I wanted to show everybody this, and I was like, oh, okay. And it's like, no, I love it because they're beautiful. It's fun. It's a challenge for me. Like, why am I a hunter? Because God made me this way. And I absolutely love it. And I love challenging myself. And if it was easy, I wouldn't do it. I love turkey hunting. I love taking people turkey hunting. Not that turkey hunting is easy, and I don't have world record turkeys, but I've killed a lot of turkeys in my day, and I don't have the same draw to turkey hunting like I do whitetail, just because
it's easier.
It's
like,
easier.
We can just say it's easier.
It's easier for me. I've found success in the turkey woods more frequently than I do in the whitetail woods, and
but
so
I love it.
I do too. Like, I mean, it's one of my favorite things in the spring. Like, I mean, you know, we talked about it. Like, I will be chasing, like, somebody calls and says, "Hey, let's go turkey hunt." I'm in, like, all day, and I'll go call for anybody. I love calling turkeys in. But again, it's back to the challenge and the chase. And so, like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, we are in Michigan. So what are our you know, I'm managing for age class. I'm going 4.5 years old. And I'm looking for the mature buck in the neighborhood. And I want to grow a deer to be able to be a herd influencer. And I believe through our technology and through the information that we do have and the people that we bring on the show is that we will show that it's worth doing the effort. And don't make excuses and don't believe the lies that my neighbors are going to shoot them. Yes, is there a good chance your neighbors are going to shoot that deer? Yeah, there probably are. But they're statistically, it's higher odds that they don't. And because they have to be in the woods at the right time, know all the things, do all the work too. And if you put in the effort before the season starts, there's a higher likelihood that they're going to survive. And if they get shot, go give them a high five. Give them a hug. Don't hate your neighbor. The Bible says to love your neighbor. And so be excited about it. And if they're the guy, I mean, they'll figure out who I am and where I'm at. I got neighbors that kill every 1.5-year-old deer that walks on their property as soon as it steps on that property. And we're talking about a 4.5-year-old, 5.5-year-old buck on a 40. But as soon as a 1.5-year-old walks off this property, they're going to hammer it. Well, if we set up what we need in some of those, it's a percentage game. Some of those 1.5-year-olds get through, and then some of those 2.5-year-olds get through, and some of the 3.5-year-olds get through. But if I'm in the woods blowing them all out, trying to hunt them and freaking out because my neighbor's going to kill this 3.5-year-old, so it's causing me to go in the woods at bad times, you're most likely going to disrupt your property and ruin it.
And then your neighbor's really going to get
definitely going to kill them because you run them off your land. Mm-hmm. So just tone it down, take a deep breath. Like, I have to tell myself this, so I'm just preaching to the choir. So, like, I'm just preaching at myself. It's just tone it down, relax. He's going to be there, and if he's not there, the Lord knows who is going to kill that deer. Like, he already knows. Do we really believe what the Bible says, that he knows you from the beginning, from the end? He knows every hair on your head. He knows everything about you. So he knows that deer. He knows your thoughts about that deer. Whoa, that's messed up. Do we really want to think that? Like, he knows how much I'm thinking about deer.
Yeah.
So, like, let's just put it in its proper place, and then we go out there and just have some.
I actually had a conversation a lot like this with my uncle on Sunday after church.
Yeah.
Obviously, deer season. You walk up to your uncle, "Hey,
what's up?
What? Yeah, what do you got? What you been hunting? What have you been seeing?" And he tells me that he got one on camera. He's like, "It's a nice deer." He's like, and he literally said, "I think I'll shoot it because I know my neighbors would shoot it." And I just kind of looked at him like, but if you pass him, you have a really good chance of seeing him next year because he has to make it through you. That's the way I look at it, is like, if that deer makes it past me, a 3-year-old, let's say in Michigan, yes, don't get me wrong, 1.5-year-olds will make mistakes all day long. It takes a while for them to educate themselves. Right. So, but a 3-year-old, like, you pass a 3-year-old in Michigan, that's a very smart deer. And you're counting, he's made the mistake of walking in front of you in daylight at a certain time when you're out there. Like, the chance of him making that mistake on your neighbors goes down. Mm-hmm. Like, it truly, like, statistically, again, they don't make a lot of mistakes. You can take one of those mistakes off his life list. It's like a cat with 9 lives.
Yeah. So, and when are the most mistakes made? The most mistakes made are during rut. Mm-hmm. And so it actually, you condense that down. It's a pretty short season for him to make big, dumb mistakes, right? Mm-hmm. It's 15 to 20 days that the likelihood, I mean, you throw in rifles and guns and all that kind of stuff, and it changes it. But, like, really during archery season, it's really those time frames. And that's why I preach to myself all the time. It's like, it's not how can I kill this deer, it's how can I protect this deer. It's like really renewing my mind from changing, like, all the lies and all the different things that my neighbor's going to kill it. And it's like, okay, If my neighbors are out there to kill it, let's look at our entire property as a piece of sanctuary. It's not just a food plot. It's not just the swamp. It's not just the thick cover. It's not the bedding area. The entire thing needs to be looked at as a sanctuary during September 1 and October 1. So are you treating it that way? Are you really caring on where your wind blows, on the way to the stand, how you're getting in and off your property, and executing throughout the whole season? Don't make up stuff like, or don't go crushing in there. For me, if a trail camera dies, a trail camera dies. And I'm not going in there. I have no need to know. I know.
I need to know.
I know you need to know. But what I'm saying is that we know that the deer are there. Mm-hmm. We've built it. If you build it, they will come. And it's just proof. There's no denying that. And you have exponentially higher. If this table's a 40, if you set it all up, put a beautiful food plot, lay it all out, give them food, cover, bedding, everything that they need, and never hunt that property, the likelihood of you bringing deer from one age class to the next just went up exponentially. So why make the mistakes of going out there and muddle them with stuff if we know that to be true? Mm-hmm. We know that to be true. So let's just err on the safety side. And I mean, I will say this. I've got a lot of buddies that will razz me because I will far lean towards the safety side than I will go crushing in there. Like, I got so many guys that are like, oh, he's daylight, get in there. And I'm like, I just can't. Mm-hmm. I just can't.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest growth on me this year. So the section that I have permission to hunt, so I don't get to do a lot of work to the property.
Yeah.
I was able to plan a food plot this year. It just happened to be like set up perfectly. The deer that I'm hunting, I have a history with them. It's pretty close to his core area. So like that food plot was 100% just made for him. If a bigger deer comes in or another deer that I'd shoot, great. But like its purpose is for him. Last year, I'm going to call his bedroom area is probably, I should measure, but I'm going to say 10 acres, definitely not more than 15. It's a pretty small area that he lives in. And last year, I had cameras on every other tree in that 15 acres. Like if the deer, but it was wild though, because like in my mindset, I'm like, if the deer moves, I'm going to know it.
Yeah.
But this deer's not like every other deer. The deer would, if I moved a camera, I would get him on camera one time, and then I would never get him on that camera again. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of cameras, but he's a smart deer. So in my mindset last year is like, okay, I got him. All of a sudden it'd be a week later, I would not get him on that camera. Like I would have to go in and move that camera. I would be pretty intrusive, get in there, move the camera. Somehow I did not blow him out of this area. There was a little kind of like method to my madness of it, but way too intrusive. This year, I do not have a single camera in that 10 to 15-ish section. I have them on the outside, and it is I'm not gonna lie, it's driving me nuts that I do not have a camera. I actually thought about it last night. I'm like, the next rainy day, I need to get a camera in there. And then a couple hours later, I'm like, no, like I know this, if I do not push him, this is where he proved it last year. This is his home. This is his bedroom. I will move in when I think the time is right, but I just don't need to go in there right now. In the back of my mind, I know, but I don't need to know. Like, yeah, it's
do you believe?
It's do I believe?
Do you believe? And he's there. He's there. And so it's when, back to the concert analogy, is when is his concert? When is he getting ready to go do what he's going to do? And I think we know that based on the weather, based on the rut, and when all those timings, is it 100%? No, but I think that there's realistic, 80% likelihood of stands where it's just like the wind's right on this moment. He's gonna do this. He lives here, and he's the most predictable at these moments. And so, but I don't want to mess up that predictability. Like success to me is year over year success. Success is not going out and killing a big deer. Like, I mean, yes, it's successful. It's super fun. It's awesome and all that kind of stuff. But when you can year over year harvest deer off your property that are the best age class in the neighborhood, that's a different game. Mm-hmm. That's not, one every 5 years. Okay. whenever, yeah, I get it. You're going to have some off years and you're going to have some bad, like, you know, we're going to make mistakes. There's going to be stuff that happens and we learn from them and all that kind of stuff. But can we bounce back from those? In Michigan, we get 2 buck tags. And so this is my measure of success on whitetail is like, am I consistently harvesting 4+ year old deer with an archery equipment every year? Then I know that, okay, my plans are working. This is going on. This is producing. And, but every year I have a list of notes on my phone of all the changes on all the different properties and everything that I'm managing because there's a lot that I want to do. So,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's transition. Wrapping this up. Let's get into one deer story from you in your youth. One that, it can be your first deer, it can be your second deer, whatever it is. Like one that stands out.
Dude, all of my stories are ridiculous from my youth.
I know. There's got to be one. Like, what's your?
All right, I'm gonna give credit. I want to throw this up to because I'm such a terrible camera guy and filmer. You know this.
Already. I saw that. Yeah. Zoomer. I'm gonna call him Zoomer.
So I want to give a shout out to my boy Trent because we tried to film hunts back in the day, and we probably can pull up this footage. And so we had this piece of state ground that we were super excited about, and we found a 125's 8. We were 18, 16, something like that.
Big.
But yeah, so this was on a state ground, tucked in behind this house. We had this lady pattern, dude. She would walk her dog around the perimeter of this thing, and every time she did, she would bump deer off their beds, and that would it was at first it was really annoying, but then we started to learn how to play it, and it started to help us because we're like, all the deer get up on their feet and they don't go back to bed. And so we would watch her walk the ridge, and you'd get like kind of ready. You didn't know what you were going to see because sometimes it bounced the other way or whatever, but we had this big 8 in there, super excited, and we hunted it way too much. And we had climbers because we didn't want to set stuff on state ground. And so this was back in the climber days. And so we had climbers, and he was right above me. And one night, dude, we were like most excited. We thought this was it. And this big old nasty swamp donkey just comes running off the hill after getting bumped by the lady. And it comes right underneath us, and she is just staring straight at us, just blowing. And I'm just like, well, this hunt's over. And he's like, just shoot her. And I'm like, all right. So I just draw back, dude, and it's just straight down. And he's videoing because he's directly above me in a climber. And so I just stick her, dude, and I stick her straight in the spines from straight above. And I kid you not, that deer hits the ground and goes, my back, my back. And it's on video, and it sounds like it's screaming my back, dude. And so he's just laughing, and I'm just appalled because it's just like, you know what I mean? You feel so bad about this deer. And so I'm scrambling, trying to get another arrow knocked, and she's in the tall grass, rolling all over. Finally, I get another one in her, dude, and he's just looking at me, just laughing,
filming the whole time.
The whole time. And we're talking.
We do need this footage.
Yeah, but it's on the old school
Oh,
what do you even call those?
A tape.
A tape. Yeah, it's a camera that has a tape on it. But we have the footage. He sends me a clip of it like once a year, and so I get that. So
yeah, we need to reach out to him.
Yeah, we'll get Trent and talk to him. He's a awesome. He works for Orvis. He's an awesome fishing guide. Goes all over the place. He's a great kid. So I call him kid. He's like my little brother. So I can call him that. It's fine.
Yeah, we need that footage.
Yeah. So that's my quick hunting story.
Oh, it's like almost like a negative one. I thought you'd go like big deer. You shot a buck and like you were excited. You went like something that affected you mentally.
Well, it's something that, this journey requires endurance. And so I had to endure through that craziness. So that's how I went. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. So that's what I went with.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. So you got the doe. Like, you spined her. Yeah.
I ate it.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So
did you enter that footage? Like, did you send that to anybody saying can we be a part of your TV program?
No, we never did anything with any of the footage
before YouTube. So it didn't go on YouTube.
No, I think that just went away. I have countless hours of me turning on a camera and zooming in and zooming out. And zooming in and zooming out. That will never be shown and never be used.
I'll guarantee we will show it
Well,
here.
I
Like
get that, but it would never had, until now, it didn't really have a purpose other than to zoom in and zoom out and zoom back in and zoom back out.
Now that I called you out on it, do you recognize, did you do that in the past, do you think?
All the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do.
You just zoom quick, get a shot of the eyeball, zoom out.
Yeah, I felt like that
Go
was
back
like,
to the eyeball.
Go
Zoom
in.
out.
Oh, there's a piece of dirt on that deer. Zoom in on it. Oh, look at that deer fly. Zoom all the way in. Yeah, I had no clue, and I still don't know. Lee does. Lee knows how to run cameras. I have no idea.
That's great.
So
That's great.
So now you got to hit us with a story.
As you were talking, I was trying to describe or think of a story of mine. I have a lot. Again, like you, the youth is interesting when you look at it.
Yeah,
like,
oh yeah.
I still think my favorite, I think just my first year bow hunting is like a story in itself of what I loved. That was like, so my uncle gave me permission to hunt on his 80 acres, my father and I was sitting in a stand on a field edge. I don't remember. I think I saw a buck like way off in the distance. And across the field is probably, I'm going to say 250, 300 yards, pretty good sized field up to his house. And my uncle was outside working in his yard, and he could hear me blowing on the grunt tube all the way across the field. So I would literally, I was known for this. Like, I'm sure my dad heard it many times. I would grab the grunt tube, and if I saw a deer, I would just be like, well, I'm going to call it in.
Sure.
So I would grab the tube and just everything I had. Basically, I would put as much wind in that reed as that reed would allow.
Right.
As long as it was making a noise, that's how hard I was blowing on it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was basically sums up me my first year, but I was able to successfully harvest a 6-point.
Nice.
12 years old, got off the bus. I can literally remember this to the T. Which is impressive because I'm 36 now. So long time ago, 12 years old, get off the bus. I called my dad from the landline. He was still working. I said, Dad, are you going to be home soon? He said, yeah, I should be home from work in a little soon. I'm like, can I go hunting? He goes, wear your harness, go hunting. I'm like, deal. I'm like, this October 23.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Excited.
Ran
Gotta
out.
Go.
Yes.
Gotta go.
And sitting in the back of our property, you can see out into the neighbor's field. And I watched this doe come running across, and next thing you know, there's a buck behind it chasing. So what do? Grab the tube.
Brontosaurus Rex gets after it.
Yes. Start just putting both lungs into the grunt tube. It worked. 6-point got excited about it. He's like, there's something weird over there, and I got to go see what it is. So we left the doe, which is crazy to think about now, like that I know about hunting, but he ran to me, and he ran directly 6 yards underneath me. I shot him. He took off running before, like I didn't watch to see where he went and where he fell and all that. As soon as I shot, I hung my bow up and ran down the ladder stand and ran up to the house as fast as I could. Like, again, didn't like watch where the deer went. I just sprinted as fast across 20 acres up to the house as fast as I could. By the time I got there, it was getting pretty dark out. And the couch in my parents' living room, you can see from the window as you come up from the woods. So instead of just continuing up to the house, I'm like, I need to tell my dad as fast as possible. So I start yelling. My dad's watching the news, most likely. I start yelling. I can see him sitting there. I'm yelling as loud as I can. He can't hear me. The news is blaring. The weather's on. He's focused. So I start barking like a dog.
You're outside instead of just going inside.
I could just walk inside and finish the deal. But like, I'm just screaming, so excited. I transition into a bark. Don't know where that came from or why. I thought maybe he would be like, oh, someone. So that's still.
I'm gonna start calling you DMX.
Yeah, it was like DMX would be real proud of this. It was a good bark.
For those that don't know who DMX is, sorry, that's my true colors coming out.
Everyone knows who DMX is. Okay. So I don't even know. I think he turned around. Yeah, he turned around and like finally got his attention with like a good raspy DMX bark.
Got it.
And so he like looks at me. And I just start jumping above and down, like Cool. He knows. Now I can go in the house. So I ran up to the house, opened the door, and like from there it's just like your normal like screaming, happy, excited. I guess you would call him my uncle, but he's like a guy that I really appreciated growing up as a kid. He comes over, we do the whole family tracking thing. Like my entire family comes over to look at this 6-point hanging in our garage. Like I'm talking like entire, like 25 people show up to just like embrace that with me. And I just like that moment right there. I will never forget every aspect of that. I love it. And that's why I do it. It's still obsessed with it today. It's like, I just pray that my daughters can experience half of that. Because I know if they can feel half of that emotion that I felt that day, they're going to be like as hooked as I am right now. So yeah, that's my barking 6-point story.
That is great. That is a great story. It's super fun, and it's super awesome for like the aspects of bringing the family together and tying them all in. And we'll get through tons of stories because I've had to. Like Lee's knows a little bit about it, but like my boys, like wanting them to hunt, not wanting to hunt, and all that kind of stuff, and surrendering that over to the Lord and being cool with that, and knowing where like it's hard, but you want them to experience the same things you did, and like it's like and so that's a really cool story that especially the DMX part.
Why not just go inside? Why not just go inside?
But you got his attention.
I got his attention. Then I could go inside.
Then it was fine. So,
yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good.
Yeah.
Well,
I kind of wanted to, I wanted to like just play and roll DMX out of this.
Yeah, I think you ought to just a little bit.
Yep.
Like you gotta or we need that button where he's gonna just push the DMX bar.
Yes.
Maybe you need that special button every once in a while. That'll be good.
That's awesome.
Oh, well, thank you guys for tuning in and checking us out. And we're really excited about the season. We're really excited about what the Lord's doing with Everland Outdoors, and just super fired up to be able to share our stories and just have fun like this. We are blessed beyond belief. So
yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
Tune in again. Don't hold us to it, but tune in on Friday for To the Stand.
Yeah, we should be able to rip one down by then.
Yeah, you should just do one right now, and then we'll.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool.
All right, man.
See you guys.
See ya.